Good day Forex trader. Your USD Forex signal, relief rally to continue for a while. There is a likelihood that the pair will continue the bullish momentum ahead of the upcoming decision by the European Central Bank. Bullish view. Buy the Euro USD and set a take profit at 1.1300. Add a stop loss at 1.1150. Timeline, 1 to 2 days. Bearish view. Set a sell stop at 1.1170 and a take profit at 1.1100. Add a stop loss at 1.1250. The Euro USD pair bounced back on the first day of the month as investors reflected on the latest economic data from the Eurozone. The pair is trading at 1.1215, which is about 0.8% above the lowest level in January. PMI data ahead. The Euro USD pair declined sharply last week as investors reflected on the hawkish interest rate decision by the Federal Reserve. In it, the bank warned that it will end its asset purchases program in March and then implement a series of interest rate hikes this year. During the weekend, Raphael Bostic warned that the Fed could implement this hiking cycle in tranches of 50 basis points each. Now, focus shifts to this week's interest rate decision by the European Central Bank, ECB. The decision will come a few days after the EU published strong economic data. On Monday, data by Eurostat showed that the bloc's economy expanded by 0.3% in the fourth quarter after it contracted by about 2% in the previous quarter. The Eurozone's economic recovery was attributed to the strong performance in France, Italy, and Spain. These economies rebounded sharply even as the COVID-19 pandemic continued to spread. On the other hand, the biggest laggard was Germany. Therefore, the Euro USD rose as investors started to price in a situation where the ECB signals that it will start to wind down its pandemic-era economic policies. For example, it could signal that it will end its asset purchases earlier than expected and then hike interest rates in the third or fourth quarter. Later today, the key catalyst for the Euro USD price will be the latest manufacturing PMI data by Market and the Institute of Supply Management, ISM. Based on the estimates numbers published almost 2 weeks ago, analysts expect the data to show that the manufacturing sector held steady in January. Euro USD Outlook. The 4-hour chart shows that the Euro USD pair has started the year well. It has erased some of the losses that it made last week. As a result, it has moved slightly above the 25-day moving average and the standard pivot point. At the same time, the Relative Strength Index, RSI, and other oscillators have started pointing upwards. Therefore, there is a likelihood that the pair will continue the bullish momentum ahead of the upcoming decision by the European Central Bank. If this happens, the next key level to watch will be at 1.1300. Gbp Usd Forex signal, further downside as recovery hits resistance. There is a likelihood that the pair will continue falling as bears target the next key support at 1.3360, which was along the lowest level last week. Bearish view. Sell the Gbp USD and set a take profit at 1.3360. Add a stop loss at 1.3500. Timeline, 1 to 2 days. Bullish view. Set a buy stop at 1.3435 and a take profit at 1.3500. Add a stop loss at 1.3350. The Gbp USD pair wavered as investors continued to reflect on the report by Sue Gray on Downing Street parties. The pair is trading at 1.3425, which was slightly higher than last week's low of 1.3355. Sue Gray report. The Gbp USD wavered in the overnight session after a report by a government watchdog criticized Boris Johnson's administration. The report led to a significant amount of criticism from both Tories and the opposition party. Boris Johnson was also forced to issue an apology in Parliament. Still, analysts believe that the uproar on the parties will not have an immediate impact on the UK economy. Looking ahead, the biggest catalyst for the Gbp/USD pair this week will be the latest interest rate decision by the Bank of England, BO, that is scheduled for Thursday this week. Economists expect that the BO will continue with its hiking cycle considering that the country's economy is doing relatively well. Data published in January showed that the overall inflation rate has jumped to a multi-year high while the unemployment rate has dropped to the lowest level since the pandemic started. Later today, the key catalysts for the pair will be the latest economic numbers from the UK and the US. For example, the Nationwide Society will deliver the latest Home Price Index, HPI, data. Economists expect the data to show that the country's home prices rose by 10.8% in January after rising by 10.4% in the previous month. On a month-on-month basis, analysts believe that the HPI rose by 0.6%. The rising home prices will give the BO an incentive to hike interest rates. Market will also publish the latest manufacturing PMI data from the US and the UK. Analysts expect that the manufacturing sector did well in January even as the supply chain disruptions continued. Gbp Usd Forecast. The 4-hour chart shows that the Gbp Usd pair found some resistance at the standard pivot point after the Sue Gray report. The pair is trading at 1.3425, which is slightly higher than the lowest point last week. It is also slightly below the 25-day and 50-day moving averages. The pair is also along the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level. Therefore, there is a likelihood that the pair will continue falling as bears target the next key support at 1.3360, which was along the lowest level last week. Aud USD Forex signal, consolidating below 0.7170. The pair remains prone to sharp downwards price movement. Today's AUD/USD signals. Risk 0.75%. Trades must be taken before 5 p.m. Tokyo time Wednesday. Short trade ideas. Short entry following a bearish price action reversal on the H1 time frame immediately upon the next touch of 0.7100, 0.7170, or 0.7188. Place the stop loss 1 pip above the local swing high. Move the stop loss to break even once the trade is 20 pips in profit. Remove 50% of the position as profit when the price reaches 20 pips in profit and leave the remainder of the position to ride. Long trade ideas. Long entry following a bullish price action reversal on the H1 time frame immediately upon the next touch of 0.6963, 0.6926, or 0.6885. Place the stop loss 1 pip below the local swing low. Move the stop loss to break even once the trade is 20 pips in profit. Remove 50% of the position as profit when the price reaches 20 pips in profit and leave the remainder of the position to ride. The best method to identify a classic price action reversal is for an hourly candle to close, such as a pin bar, a doji, an outside or even just an engulfing candle with a higher close. You can exploit these levels or zones by watching the price action that occurs at the given levels. Aud USD Analysis. I wrote last Tuesday that the price was trading in a range between 0.7102 and 0.7170, with the prospect of sudden breakdown caused by deteriorating risk sentiment due to worries over the Fed's tightening of monetary policy and the prospect of a military conflict between Russia and Ukraine. I was therefore looking to take a short trade from another bearish rejection of 0.7170, which set up, but turned out to be a losing trade. The price also ended up above 0.7170, so this was not a successful call. The price has shown a little volatility late in the Asian session following the Reserve Bank of Australia's monthly policy release, which as expected ended the bank's QE, asset purchase, program and left rates unchanged at 0.1%. The recent price action has had the effect of invalidating former key levels nearby, leaving the price looking likely to consolidate within a wide range between 0.7100 and 0.6963. The price of this currency pair reached an 18-month low at the end of last week, some pips below the huge round number at 0.7000. The price is therefore certainly in a long-term bearish trend but is in an area that could well see a long-term bullish reversal. This means there could be good trading opportunities here. I am prepared to take either a short trade from a bearish reversal at 0.7100 or a long-term long trade from another bullish bounce at 0.6963. If the short trade is taken, it should be carefully monitored due to choppy price action in the area it will have to move through to be profitable.